What's up, everybody? I'm back again, finally, with another episode of Ask Chad Grassy Logic. I'm here with my friends Eric and Steve from Green Fuego, all the way from Santa Fe. They took that trip to come down and hang out and have a good conversation with y'all. So I really appreciate you gentlemen joining me today. And go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick.
Hey guys, I'm Eric from Green Fuego. I'm the owner over there. It's a small family-owned business, and I'm here with one of my really good friends, and Steve. He's also part of the crew at Green Fuego.
What up? Yeah, my name's Steve. I'm Eric's right-hand man, and we're just rolling.
We just had tacos and everything. It's right after lunch, everybody. So yeah, it was really good tacos.
Yeah.
And it's just the service was just a little slow. Kind of how I am at the moment right now. So I really appreciate you gentlemen joining me again, like I said. And we're gonna have some really good conversations today. If you guys were checking up on the social medias before, you already kind of know an idea of what we're gonna be talking about. We'll go in depth. But we have a lot of good stuff in store. A lot has happened since I've been able to be on the show. Last week I had a cancellation, but also unfortunately in Hawaii, as you guys can see the shirt I'm wearing, I actually started college in Hawaii. This is actually my first college. And so there was a fire that happened on Maui, and it devastated like 3 different cities on the island, and a lot of people were displaced, and a lot of people lost their homes and everything. And so I took that day and since then to really start gathering donations and getting supplies together, and talking to a friend who's actually on Maui. Unfortunately, her house didn't burn down, and so she's able to receive the packages. And she also works at the airport, so I'm able to shout out to Kristen. I'm able to hopefully get it on a plane and get everything over there directly. And so that's the reason why I wasn't here last week, the cancellation, and also I did an announcement. But if you guys are new and you notice why there's a lapse in a week of the show, that's the reason why. It was good to take that opportunity to get all this started and gathered. Thank you all who've donated so far. It's been amazing. Those who've helped me get this started, Johnny Be Good, going over there, slinging some genetics and everything, doing some games and stuff to get some funds raised. He got me some supplies, and so that's great. And we're going to try to get those out to people of Maui as fast as we can. Sorry that it took so long. I just want to let everybody know what happened and what's going on with that situation. But anyway, moving on, we're going to be talking about Green Fuego. And you guys are from Santa Fe. So
yes,
holy crap, man. So how did you guys get started on this journey?
I've been growing since I was 16, 37 in next week, and went to college for agronomy, the science of plants, and kind of stuck with it. It was to take care of golf courses, but realized that golf courses didn't really make me some money. So I ended up growing a lot of cannabis, and kind of leading me to this point. And the funny thing is getting started with Green Fuego, I was actually a home builder prior to this, and a business deal went south, and it kind of led us to where we're at right now with me and my buddy. He was a grower for one of the places in Santa Fe, and he called me and said, "Hey man, we need to change something." So when it went legal, we kind of formed Green Fuego. It was started in my garage. I paid him a salary to, grow with me there and start the business. And that's how we started Green Fuego, out of a blue garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so here we are now, It's good to see that we've grown this far. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary as a business, micro producer. We produce craft cannabis. We carry a ton of different cultivars, upwards of 100 plus. We just really want to bring a nice craft genetic to the market, and that's what we're here to do.
Nice. Yeah, and I appreciate it. I mean, what about you? How long have you been in the industry? Really, you said you grew at another place.
I did in Santa Fe, and that was about 4 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I just got tired of the practices there. And I called my boy up and I said, "Hey, what can we do, man? Like, how can I get you out of retirement? Because I'll dedicate all the time I have in the world to make sure that we can do this." Because I just didn't appreciate how I was treated and how the product that was being grown there called good product. That's medicine, and it wasn't good medicine for me.
Yeah. That was an issue that was prevalent when we were just medical. And for years, when I became a patient in 2013, we had that issue back then, and then it just got worse. As the years went on for a while, the quality went like this, and then once legalization started to kind of get closer, it started to go up a little bit, and then now we're here with the legalization full. We're in within a year, and we're seeing the quality of cannabis just increase exponentially.
Absolutely.
Especially on the flavor side. And we were talking at lunch when we were eating our tacos. that, the South, we have a lot of hash down here.
Yeah.
And it's actually very surprising to see that, because you'd figure it'd be in Albuquerque where, there'd be more hash heads, but for some reason the South has all the hash heads for some reason.
They do. Being in Santa Fe and having a micro business up there in a storefront, we just don't move the same hash that we see move down here.
Yeah.
From a production standpoint to, just volume.
Yeah.
You guys really like the finer things, I should say,
We do.
And so, we appreciate that, because it's, it's a good, it's an acquired taste, and, it's not cheap.
No.
And
100%.
so you got to know what you're looking for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. It shows there's a lot of connoisseurs down here, is what it shows me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that care about the product down here and that care about the cultivation standards. And it's good to see in New Mexico that we're at that level. Like you said, that we've arrived. And I think that the hash and everything that's being produced out of New Mexico can compete with other states and the quality they put out. I mean, we're just as good.
Yeah.
I think people should, be proud of what we do here. We're New Mexicans, so, I think we can compete with other states.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
100%. I mean, I feel like our quality is raising to the point where we're able to compete, not price wise yet,
Sure.
but in quality wise,
100%.
Against other states. Now, price, that's something that is different everywhere you go. There's no way I can tell you, oh yeah, you're gonna probably spend like $30 in California between Oklahoma. Yeah. Like an eighth in Oklahoma and California are two different prices.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be probably different products, could be a different quality. One's very, very, very saturated, and the other one's kind of, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. You can never know what's going on up there.
You really don't know what's going on in California. Something's always different than all the jurisdictions and laws and everything that they add. It just makes it so confusing.
And then the fires, everything's changing with a lot of their outdoor growth scene. It's unfortunate, but it happens, and so it can affect a lot of these farmers. And it's sad to see. But like you were talking about in the Maui fires, that's just sad.
Yeah, and cannabis farmers are affected there. They're a medical cannabis state.
100%.
Even when I was stationed there in the military, that's how I lived there. Then I stayed after I got out, and I worked for Apple. And even then, it was a medical cannabis state. It was really wonky, but New Mexico's program was too. A lot of states, it was their earliest inception days, because actually in Hawaii, their police department ran the medical cannabis program at the time. And then finally, I think when I moved, they moved it to the Department of Health.
Wow.
Kind of like New Mexico. And it just blew my mind. I was like, I have to go to the police station and drop a medical application off? This is weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was so crazy, and there was nowhere to buy it. So you had to grow it yourself. You had no choice.
Well, at least they knew where all the growers were.
Yeah.
Was that the whole thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Who grew all the weed in the state?
Yeah. Everyone knew, where the growers were.
Hey,
exactly.
let's see who turns them in.
Yeah, right. Oh man. But everybody smoked weed in Hawaii, so it was just one of those things that was so common. But they had fire cannabis even back then.
Yeah.
Some of it I haven't ran into that kind of quality in a long time.
No, a lot of you won't. It's hard to find it.
Yeah, it is. And so shout out to them and everything. But getting back on the track and everything, we kind of got off track. We did have a safety meeting before. So are you guys fully vertical?
We are. We are vertical licensed. We grow. We sell up front also. And whatever cannabis we have left, we wholesale it to the state and to select vendors. It's going to be dropped at Galileo this week up in Albuquerque. That'll be the first store that we're in. Recently we've been at Raw Greens before, and a few others, but we're definitely vertically integrated, so we do everything there.
Nice. And I actually met you guys at the Galileo grand opening in Albuquerque.
That
was actually really cool.
Yeah,
I got to check out some of your flower and everything, and actually we have some right here to show y'all today. We'll pull some out. Fire cannabis, guys. The terpene profiles on this, the bud structure, the smoke is just amazing on it, and I really appreciate you guys sharing that and sharing it with the audience.
Absolutely.
I wish you guys had smell-o-vision and smoke-o-vision.
Then you guys would look like us right now.
I was like, why can't contact high go through that?
I know. Exactly.
So I wish I could share that, with you guys and everything. But if you are in an area that has green Fuego, you can more than,
come see us, man.
We'll
take care of you guys.
There you go. Even in Santa Fe, right? Because you guys have a shop.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's cool. So where are you guys, other locations that you guys are located outside of Santa Fe? Who else has you?
So we supply down some lifted cannabis down in Tucumcari. And really, we just actually came down here in Las Cruces. You'll be able to find our flower at Casa Verde. They're going to be opening up next week. So they picked up some of our flower. And like I said, Galileo. We're in very select stores. We're We're a micro license, so all of our stuff is craft. We're hand watered. We're grown in soil. It's a Synganic feed approach, so nothing that we're hiding there saying, we're doing it a certain way. We're very transparent. You can go to our dispensary and see a window into our flame factory, how we grow, how we feed. You can see our plants, you can see the quality, you can see how clean we keep it. That's the main thing. We like transparency where we're from. So we like to show you guys what we're about and, how we do it.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Appreciate it. What about you?
I mean,
I want to give you a chance to talk.
No, for sure. Yeah, and when you come to the store, you can check out if you follow us on Instagram, you see our videos. What you see on videos, you see in the store.
Yeah. And
it's just all good vibes, positivity, and just working hard.
Yeah.
We just busted in there,
dancing,
singing.
Yeah,
totally.
You guys have fun. Like, you guys are hilarious on social media. We follow each other. I watched some of your videos, and I just shared one today. Hilarious. You guys are funny as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that really appealing. As a customer myself, even if I was a customer and I came in like, oh, this is great. These guys are fun. You're having a good time. Do you kind of feel like having that fun kind of culture keeps retention rates and morale up?
It does.
Yeah.
We have a really good vibe at the shop, and so like I tell my employees, I said, look, I don't need you guys to be the best. I just want your best. And so it really helps them kind of relax and say, okay, I don't need to, I don't have very, unreasonable expectations. And then us being, who we are, we like to have a good time and joke, but we do work hard. And so they see that, but they see that we can be comfortable around us because we're not afraid to be who we are.
Yeah.
And like he said, what you guys see on Instagram, that's who we are. Like you we'll twerk like
Gucci daddy shorts.
On the way down, he told the lady at the gas station, he's on, my daddy takes care of me because I bought him a Dr. Pepper. And she looks at him, this lady's, she's 70 years old and she's all, my daddy does too.
Oh!
And I was like, oh my gosh, dude. I was like, you are
just on the way here.
But there's just another story of what, that's how our life is.
Oh, that's great. I'll do that at restaurants if I'm with on a table with a bunch of dudes having a meeting. If the girl comes up all together, I'm like, well, not together.
Exactly.
I'll do it. Yeah. So you guys like to have fun. That's great to see.
We do.
So what kind of culture do you think you guys created in doing that? Like within the company.
Honest and
positive.
Yeah.
Honest. Our team's super loyal. They will ride or die. Our entire team.
Nice.
They're gonna roll with us no matter what.
And it's just a positive. I want to get away from the stigma that we're such lazy smokers or people that smoke cannabis or use it for recreational uses, that they're bad people or they're whatever. It's not like that. We want to show people that you can accomplish a lot while smoking and still be a productive person in life and just just show you and happy. And that's what we want to show people, is that's who we are.
Definitely.
It's our medicine.
It is.
We're all battling something on the daily, and this really helps me just make sure I can get through the day and be there for my team. Where Eric needs me when he's gone, I need to be on point and be there for my team on 100.
Yeah, that's dope. And that's dope that you guys can step in each other's roles whenever needed. That's really not seen a lot in the cannabis world. You see a lot in other industries, but in the cannabis world, it seems like there's a lack of training and other stuff like that. And we'll get to that conversation later. And, you guys can kind of chime in more because we have actually a conversation on that here in a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, I kind of feel that, there's not enough training going on. And it could just be for the fact that the people in charge don't know.
Yeah.
That there just could be ignorance all around. And, it's not necessarily anyone's fault. We got into an industry that was so new that only a select few had the knowledge that was important.
Correct.
What I mean? A lot of these people, I say this all the time, they didn't have ran anything more than a track really, and so they came in even more clueless. Not only do they not have any cannabis experience or knowledge, they don't have any business experience or knowledge, and they're trying to figure out both at the same time, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Sure. But is it gonna be quick? Is it no?
No. And the main thing is a lot of them don't smoke.
Yes.
So it's like a chef that cooks food, it doesn't taste their food. Like, how are you going to know how good it is or what it needs, And so how are they going to know what a good product is if they don't smoke it or they don't consume it? They'll never know.
Yeah.
They can ask their friend, but it's never a good judgment because you don't know the variables. There's too many variables in that. So, that's where I think the the misdirection and all that stuff comes from, and the disconnect is people think it's that easy. Like, oh, we just plant the seed and it'll be fun.
Yeah,
You know, and it's just not that easy.
Yeah, especially if you're not a consumer. It's like that episode of Futurama when Bender started cooking.
Yep.
You know?
exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Right on the
it's
money.
terrible.
Terrible. Yep. Doesn't he? Because he eats metal.
Because he just drinks.
Yeah, he just drinks and burps freaking flames. You know, like you can cook a steak with his mouth. That's about it.
That's about it. Exactly.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys sharing that. Sometimes I really like to give a different perspective from people. And maybe someone can have or can take what you guys are doing and implement it to make their space better for their employees, because some of these places, they're not really doing well, and they need to do something, especially when it comes to the employees, because they're the ones who sell your cannabis.
100%. I mean, you go into our break room, it's stocked with fruit snacks, ramen, mac and cheese, granola bars, Cokes, Dr. Peppers, waters, yogurts, whatever you want. Like we just want if you want to go have a snack, go have a snack. That's what it's there for.
Hell yeah.
We just want to have a positive environment there for people and have them make it fun, because that's what we're there to do. Life is hard enough as it is. We don't need to make it any harder.
Yeah, you can be professional and fun at the same time.
100%.
I think a lot of companies have proven that. Google, Apple, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
And those are tech companies, but you can still do it on the cannabis front.
And,
some people have successfully done it for years.
We watch movies in our trim room. We have a TV set up, and we'll throw on Impractical Jokers or Super Bad or whatever, and we're there with the trim crew and trimming, and we're watching, laughing, and so Talladega Night, you name it. And so that's the kind of stuff we do up there.
Yeah.
And
you might as well have something to watch.
We like to include our whole team.
Yeah, we've all had jobs trimming where it's just turn your back against the wall, don't look at one another. You're just in your gloves and you're just trimming, no sound, nothing.
Yeah, no music.
No music.
Yep.
Exactly.
And sticky gloves.
Yeah, that's it.
It's great that you guys have that and you're taking a different approach. Because I keep telling people this: think outside of the box, be creative. You don't have to go with the same model that every state's gone.
100%.
Even when it comes to the retail front, I see some of these places and they look like just California or Colorado with the way, like the little window at the front, it's all intimidating. You don't have to do that. You just have to, have a station.
Exactly.
You have to have somewhere at the state. You don't have to have an exact window like that.
And then there's a lot of sterility. You have places that look too sterile.
Yeah.
You walk in and you're like, oh, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be buying something here? Is this a hospital? What's going on here? It's,
make it more homey.
Exactly.
Make it homey. And last episode, I had actually my doctor on, and she's the one who did my card.
Okay.
And even her facility that you go in, and she does other stuff too. But when you go in, I describe it as a warm, fuzzy slipper.
Yeah.
If you could do that with a dispensary, you're probably going to have more welcoming environment for people to come in, and maybe your sales will go up. Who knows?
100%.
A little change like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So. But you guys are actually award-winning growers, right? Like you have a couple of cultivars that were award-winning.
We do. We have our Taste the Rainbow, and then we have our Sweetie OG. The Taste the Rainbow won Best Sativa last year at the SEs, and then our Sweetie took second place, Best Hybrid at the SEs. And that is, the both are where it's Taste the Rainbow was a 30% sativa with 3% terps, and then our Sweetie was a 27% hybrid with 3% terps.
Yeah. If you guys aren't in the know, when we talk about terps, the 1 to 3% or whatever, usually about 1.5 to 3%, you're pretty golden, with flavor. 1%, yeah, okay. Anything under, you're kind of like,
it's kind of dull.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the window. 1 to 3% is really. You don't really see the 4, but I think you told me you guys did get one with
our
4,
skunk
right?
came close. It went 3.77 and 27%. It was a cross between Acapulco Gold and Colombian Gold, and I'm telling you guys, it is insane.
It's an old school.
It's old school. It was a freebie, another freebie, like the unicorn meat right there.
In a minute.
I mean, we run a lot of seeds. We pheno hunt, so we're not afraid from finding the freebies and seeing what they give us. We know there's not a lot of winners in them, but sometimes we run across them.
Yeah, it's like playing the lottery.
It is.
Yeah,
It's like Christmas. What are we getting?
Exactly. So, and that's the fun thing about growing. You have that pheno hunt.
You do.
You have that hunt, and you have like, okay, out of all of these, I know there's one winner here. A shiny Pokemon.
Exactly.
It's there. So, well, speaking of that, what's your favorite cultivar to grow? You personally.
Right.
Both of you, actually.
Right now, I would have to say the soap for me. It's in the 30s. It tests above 2%, 2% terps. It's just a banger. It smells like that yellow soap you grew up, washing your hands with as a kid, that nasty school soap that you can never get out of your nose anymore.
Never.
So when I smelled this plant, I was like, it was a lot of nostalgic flashbacks to as a kid. So now that I'm growing it, I'm like, wow, it just, every time it kind of hits home a little bit for me, and it kind of, makes me feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
In that sense. So it's an interesting plant. It has 1% of limonene in it in terp test. So it's an interesting plant to say the least.
Well, I'm waiting you guys to pair that one with the ectoplasm juice cooler.
Oh, yep.
The Slimers.
The Slimers.
Yeah, if you can find that flavor, buddy. Ooh.
We will. We'll find that. We'll get there.
I'll be like, oh, that son of a bitch did it.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
Nice. So speaking about growing, actually, what is your favorite cultivar to grow?
Even though it's a tough one, our GMO, with the light schedule we run, we're able to have the proper garlic, mushroom, onion terpenes. It smells to me. I go back to my Salisbury steak dinner that I'd have with my grandpa and my grandma at home. Like straight up, it smells like steak and onions. It's cool.
Nice. Yeah. And that's the thing I like about cannabis. You have such a range of different flavors and smells. You can have, the steak dinner essentially, and then you can have the fruit bowl.
Yep.
And then you can have the fruity pebbles, and then you can have
the chems and the gases.
The gases.
And the Ajaxes.
Yeah, the Ajax. The cleaning
Ooh.
fluids. And normally you don't want to think of smoking that, but when you smoke it in weed, you're like, this is great. Really don't smoke cleaning fluid, guys.
No.
Yeah, no, not for real. But...
Yeah, like the Trapsanto we grew, it smelled like a porta potty. It was
like a clean one, right? Like
like a dirty one.
Okay.
Like a dirty
it was
one.
Well, yeah,
crazy.
you got cat piss, chicken piss, you got dog shit.
Yeah, the Chem de la Chem we grow is pretty offensive. Like, if you guys want to smell something like some really bad feed or something, you just pop that thing open and it is offensive.
But it stinks so good.
Might be a good
She stinks so good.
Yeah, the bag of pills not there, but I mean the smoke,
the high,
top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, can't beat it.
So you guys, you have a lot of experience with different cultivars. How many of you guys are you running right now?
So right now we're actually moving over to a project called Project 30, and it's going to be 30 strains with over 30% THC and above 2% terps that we're trying to work on and narrow down. We currently have access to 120 different cultivars in our genetic library that we can choose from. So we're kind of narrowing that down to get a much better branding of what, an understanding of what we do. And so people can kind of see our work in a bigger culmination of things. So, show them, how good we are at selecting genetics, breeding them, and, pheno hunting. Yeah. And that's kind of our line of work, is to put all that together and show you guys that, we're not afraid to pheno hunt. We're not afraid to pop seeds. We're not afraid to cross strains and come up with new stuff. And, that tests high and it's good medicine. I understand it's not always about high THC and stuff like that, but it's a good value to have. And if we have access to it, I don't mind going for it and hunting for it.
Yeah.
So we'll always have our 24s and 18%. I get that, guys. And, it's never a bad thing, but this is a new project we're working on and it's an exciting one. So stay tuned. There's some big strains coming out of there. Yeah. Some things called Supreme Fire. So just stay tuned because it's a lot different than what we've been launching.
Nice.
So
it's great to see that something different is coming into New Mexico, because we were talking at lunch. Slurricane was everywhere last year, and it got annoying.
Yep.
To the point where if you just walked in and saw Slurricane, I just walked out.
Yeah,
I was like, Slurricane. I'm not here.
Yeah. What do we say? There's a good yielder, and you're like, that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure you got Forrest Gump on repeat on the TV too, huh?
Exactly.
Okay,
oh, watch is good. Great.
Yeah.
Can we get something new?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, oh, no, thank you. So that's great that you guys are bringing variety.
Yeah,
a lot of people aren't really bringing that to the table. But before we move on to the little next topic about you guys, what are the top 3 tips that you both could give someone who's new to growing?
I would give them find a good nutrient regimen that has good access to good information. We run Athena. I didn't run them for a long time, but after doing a lot of research and running their product, it's solid. It's a 2-part system. It's simple. It's affordable. Salt-based is a good option for growing cannabis, regardless of what a lot of the community says. Or for organics, plant can't tell the difference between synthetic and organic, just so you guys know.
You're kind of a plant scientist.
Yeah, I went to school for agronomy. So give that a thought when you guys are purchasing food and sustainability. Our grow is we are fully recyclable, so all of our runoff waste from our water, our dehumidifiers, and our ACs gets pumped next door to our veterinarian, where she uses it in a hydro state to cremate animals, aquamation. And so we literally do not put any runoff or any water down the drain at our facility. We are self-sustainable from all that. And we maybe use 50 gallons a day to water our plants. So just to give you guys heads up, it can be done even on a salt level and be very sustainable. Yeah. So that's what I would give them for, and read. There's a lot of good information. There's a lot of people that are willing to give you information if you just ask them. Message us, guys. Like we talk to a lot of people all the time about how we grow, tips how we grow, what we use. We're not hiding anything. Yeah. So hit us up, guys. Like we're here to share our information.
Nice. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And you could help, some facilities out, in the state. And
absolutely.
Just create a fire around the whole state. You know what I mean?
That's what we want.
Fire we want around the whole state is this.
We want good product for everybody.
Fire everywhere.
We do. We want everyone to access good smokable weed. I mean, I feel bad that some people have to pay a really high price for a mediocre product a lot of the times. Yeah. And so, I just feel it's really important they get what they're paying for. You work hard for your money, so you should get what you're paying for.
Right. And what about you? Top three grow tips for a noob.
I guess I could think of is just keep it simple. Like you said, we run a 2-part system. When you start getting 6-7 parts, all these extras, then people get confused. Our team gets confused, and Eric and I are changing our recipe daily. It's like hardly ever the same. So just keep it simple so that I can tell my team what they need, and also don't be afraid to ask questions. We're in like a society where it's kind of like I'm just gonna do what I know, but sometimes somebody knows something more, knows how to do it better than the next person, and I want to know how to do it better because I'm not perfect, and I know I can be better at our craft, what we do right here. So
always improve, always get better. That's what you always want.
Exactly.
I appreciate that, guys, and I would say just don't be afraid to go out there and fuck up.
I tried a lot of weed that smoked like hay for a long time. It struggled.
You're going to.
Struggle bus is real, guys.
Yeah. Sometimes it lasts a couple years.
Yeah. Mine lasted like 4.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I got lucky. My boy went through all those trials and tribulations on his own. He hermited himself away, and I was like, dude, I got to get you out of here, dude. I need to get you back in your sauce because he knows a lot about plants, and I just wanted to be a part of it because him and I are a great team, and we built a great team.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, well, that's great. I appreciate you guys sharing that and everything. Do you offer any discounts in your shops by any chance?
We do. Military will get a discount. Teachers will get discount. Seniors will get discount. We offer an industry discount of 25%. So if you guys are in industry, bro, you can holler over at us. We give a bigger discount usually than your own employer a lot of the times. We just want you guys to have good access to good medicine and a good product. We understand you guys work in this industry for a reason, and we want to help you guys out. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. We want to just help people understand the product and the proper ways to grow it and consume it. There's a lot of misjudgments in our community, and there's a lot of people that are using some very unsafe products to grow stuff. Pesticides and stuff like that we don't like seeing. So we just like to help people educate that and see for themselves.
No, definitely, 100%.
So
I appreciate that. And that 25% discount is very generous.
It's
very generous. It's a quarter off.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they want access to good medicine. That's why we're here in this industry.
And I'm glad you guys are here to provide it. I'm glad you got you out of retirement.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any events or anything planned? You got 1 year coming up.
We do. So September 16th in Santa Fe. If you guys want to come up, we're gonna have our 1 year event. DJs, food booth. We're gonna have artists perform, vendors. We're gonna have giveaways. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool stuff over there. Painting,
twerking.
Yeah, you'll see my boy twerking in his skirt, in his thong.
Are people gonna get to see the Hoochie Daddy shorts?
Oh, they'll see the Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Okay, so if you want to see Hoochie Daddy shorts, head over there that day.
Right here, Hoochie Daddy.
So, where are you guys located at in Santa Fe?
So in Santa Fe, we're at the end of Airport Road, right off the relief route 599 behind the Tractor Supply. So if you guys are, passing through Santa Fe and you're making a quick trip, we're literally a minute off the relief route.
Nice.
So if you're going up north Espanola or heading down south from Espanola or anywhere, stop by. We're right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a quick stop. So
yeah,
right by the airport.
nice. And when you guys open, what's your hours of operation?
Our hours are 10 to 7.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Yes,
Sunday,
sir.
Monday through Sunday.
Monday
Cool.
through Sunday.
Nice. And yeah, I'm glad you guys are open 7 days a week. You know, some people really need that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's cool. Do you guys have anything else before we move on to the next topics?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. So appreciate you guys being on the show and everything. Thank you so much for sharing, you know, your journey, you know, even the tips of growing for the noobs and everything. I appreciate you guys and coming down from Santa Fe. You know, that's not a short trip. You know, that's a 4-hour trip.
It was a good drive though.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Nice.
We laughed a lot.
Yeah. We've been laughing all day. It's been great. This has been fun.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, anyway, we're going to move on to the next topic. It's we're going to be talking about a facility that technically blew up. If we could, so it looks like we had a chemical fire or something. Of course, the media is going to put it however. Essentially what happened was a 23-year-old guy that was working for, who is it, Minerva Canada, over in, I think it's Santa Fe, right? Or is it Albuquerque?
Minerva they have a location in Santa Fe, off
Yeah.
Cerrillos Road right there. Yes.
Yeah. So I believe this is the one in Santa Fe.
Okay.
And it looks like they had an ethanol fire or something like that. And, you know, now it's being reported in the news. I guess this happened 3 or 4 days ago. And I just found out about it yesterday. The facility is operated by Minerva Canada, and they're one of the larger operators here in the state. And actually, they call it Legacy. We call it Dirty 30 here, you know, in the back of the days, people. And they were here back in the days when we were medical. And, you know, this is something that is shocking because I figure someone who's been around for so long wouldn't have a mistake like this. There'd be more protocols, training, et cetera, for something this to not happen, because to light ethanol on fire, it's easy, but it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know, like you really kind of have to try. It's not like you spill it on the ground and it catches fire. Maybe if the ground was really, really hot, but like then you wouldn't be standing on it.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, you wouldn't be standing there or in that room. So it doesn't really make any sense why that would happen. The report lists there was an incident outside gas or vapor. What I'm guessing is there was some vapor and a flame somewhere hit it, or maybe it was a hot plate and boom, you know, or, you know, maybe it spilled on them and maybe the boom happened and it splashed and, you know, the ethanol splashed on him and that's what it burned, because it's reporting that that he did get burns. They weren't severe. They're saying that they were, I guess, moderate or something like that. And so it's kind of sad that this happens. This has happened the 3rd time in the state. Since we become a medical cannabis industry, really, and we had a medical cannabis program, and then now we're adult use. This is the first time for adult use, but 3rd time overall. The first 2 are a lot worse. I think that was New Mexican.
Yep.
Happened twice with them. I know, right? It shouldn't happen twice. And those 2, the first one actually sparked federal intervention, and the federal government came in, seized all of their plants, seized whatever money they had, and the big old investigation happened. It was all over the news, and I hope this doesn't make national news again. How do you guys kind of feel about this so far? I mean, there's more information to share, but like.
Well, you know, I think the good point is the security footage. I mean, they should have these places like that, and especially rooms like that. And by our CCD standards and NMRLD, we should be seeing cameras in rooms like that. So, I mean, understandably, people make mistakes and accidents do happen. I get that. But you know, for this to happen the 3rd time in the same, you know, place in Santa Fe, it's just kind of getting a little bit old. And I feel like people need to be more careful, or there needs to be better training in place. You know, exactly. Ultimately, when they're working with these kind of chemicals, and you know, it's too dangerous to risk your life for extracting some medicine like that. I mean, it's not worth it. Your life's not worth that. So I think proper training and people need to be vetted better, or, you know, just better applied at their job.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially something like this, you know,
absolutely,
you can really hurt yourself and many other people, and even buildings and people around that building, you know, depending on what you're doing, you know, especially
100%.
Like EHO.
Yes.
You know, like that is like, they call it a boom boom room for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like literally they call it a boom boom room for a damn reason. And, you know, you need to be careful. And the reason why I want to talk about this, because there's a little bit of dispute. So the manager is saying that there was no fire, no explosion. It was just an accident. However, the firefighters found a 6-pound bag of cannabis aflame next to the area where the chemical was spilled, meaning the ethanol had spilled. So spilled and the cannabis caught on fire. fire was put out and the area was ventilated, the report says. Fire officials contacted the property owner, who told them a small quantity of ethanol was stored in the building. Ethanol is a chemical used, and we all know, to process cannabis, and usually to make like RSO and other kind of things like that. So maybe they're making something for edibles, or and they are known for making edibles. So that's most likely probably what they're using it for. Is for their edible process. So the New Mexico Fire Marshal's office, they've actually taken over on this investigation. So I don't know where this is going to go. If it goes any further, we might get federal intervention again. I hope not, because that gives us a black eye in the industry. This already looks bad on us, because this is the third time it's happened. And it's almost like we don't learn. I talk highly about New Mexico's hash and everything, but then we have stuff like this happen, and it kind of gives us a black eye. So be careful out there, everybody. Please follow all regulations, and please understand what you're working with. If you don't know, don't do it, or hire somebody that does. You're gonna have to spend the money, because now they're either going to lose their license, pay a hefty fee, and then they're probably going to pay a lawsuit fee. Is what I'm guessing, because the last 2 times this has happened, it's ended up in lawsuits, civil lawsuits, and companies losing out on money. So you're going to save yourself money in the long run if you just do it the right way, hire the right people, and you're just most likely not going to run into this issue. And like he said, there's cameras, and there should be cameras all over the facility. So we'll see if this disputed reporting from the manager to the actual firefighters will hold up when it comes down to it, because there should be cameras in there, and we should be able to see exactly what happened. And there was cameras the first 2 times that we had the explosion. I've watched both, and you were able to see what happened. So I'm guessing in time we may see the video of this. I'll post it, or I'll share it with everybody once it comes in, because it's important that we see what happens and what happened and how something like this can happen, so that way we can prevent it. It's not to call anybody out. It's a learning thing that we all need to learn from. And it's something that shouldn't have happened, but it does. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I think that there's just major negligence in training, and they just had this young man doing a job that he had no idea what he was doing. And they, these bigger companies, they skimp where they can, they pinch pennies where they can, and could have been this type of situation. This kid said, "Oh, I've done this before on the streets, and I know how to do this. You can trust me." And it sounds like he didn't know exactly what he was doing.
Nice. Yeah, and I can agree with that. And I only say nice because I'm agreeing with you. But he's only 23 years old. He's young. And
not to discount that, but I mean, it could be a lot of things for sure.
And he's young, meaning that he has a lot of life in front of him. And so this really affects you depending on how the burn is.
Correct.
Exactly.
He's so young that this shouldn't have happened to him. 23 years old. This kid is just getting started in the industry. Who knows? This could, ruin the industry for him for life.
Oh, negligence on the employer's part from not, equipping him with the proper tools and the proper training and vetting whatever he was. And it's not. I don't feel like it's a mistake on the young gentleman. I think it's purely on the companies and how they put these people in these positions.
Yeah, you guys can't go into something like this and expect people to know exactly what they're doing. You need someone in there who knows what they're doing to show these people what to do.
Correct.
That's the way it works.
It applies even from a growing side. Yeah, it's like this isn't we're not hiring a ton of 23-year-olds that have like a ton of experience, because they just simply cannot have it. They just don't have the years behind them. I'm not saying they're not very smart. There's very smart young people that we have on our team that we're very proud of, and they're great growers. But, simply put, this is a much different animal, and to mess with something that can really kill you, I mean, it's just, you got to be very careful.
Yeah. So, but like I said, please be careful out there, y'all. These are people's lives that, they're being put at risk when we do something like this. So keep that into consideration. Please have as many protocols as possible that you can have. As I said before the show, when I worked at Apple, they had a policy where you couldn't wear certain sweaters that they gave us in the room where they repaired the computers, because it had too much lint. It was like wool. And so if it lints off, it can ruin a computer. And something small like that, tiny little detail like that, could save thousands of dollars, And so you got to think of that when you're going into something like this.
Buy once, cry once. It sucks to buy that price once, but it saves you a ton of money in the long run. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're gonna look back at yourself and like, I'm not kicking myself in the ass at all.
that bill hurt that time, but then you're like, oh, it's much
off
better.
in the end.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Bleeding a little, but
Exactly.
Still smiling.
Still here.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to, talk about that. This is something that I just popped up last night. So this is kind of new. I shared it with everybody. If you're following the socials and everything, you'll see the link for this. I'll try to have the link in the description so you guys can follow it wherever you're listening. But yeah, that's it for this topic. We're going to move on to Fowler V Medman. And this is something I've been covering for the past couple of weeks since I found out. And you guys were kind of catching up, before the show on what's going on with this. And if you guys aren't in the know, what this is, it's a civil lawsuit. It's a federal civil lawsuit against Fowler V Medman, which is, if you guys don't know, Swazi, our Greenleaf, and I'm missing one. Elevated. Yeah. And wait, there's one more. Everest. Yeah, Everest. Everest is the other one. Yeah. Everest is the one. Sorry. Yeah. I'm like, they're both with E's. So Everest is recent, and so these companies are all under that. But it's Medman is the main one that's getting sued for it. But this happened at one of the dispensaries here in New Mexico, so that's why this is pertinent to us. And what this lawsuit alleges is that the employer was taking employees tips that were given from customers. Like, I would go in and just give a tip, like, hey, good job, thank you for the information. They're taking those tips and they were paying their managers with them, and they were also doing employee pizza parties with them. And we have it up here on the screen. If we could scroll down, if you scroll down quite a bit, Gina, we can get everybody the meat and the potatoes down here of all the information. So we have facts right here. So what it says right there, and this is all alleged, everybody, this has to go through the court system. So right now, I can't say that they did this exactly. The court is going to figure this out in the end and figure out, if it's truth or not. But that's pretty much all the facts that you see on the screen there. But pretty much what it is just that's it. They were taking tips, and this is a problem within the industry statewide. This isn't just at the Medman, little umbrella that they have. This happens all over, and I'm getting reports more and more that this happens. They're either taking tips this way, they're putting it to another tip thing and putting it to a nonprofit, which sounds super illegal, or they're taking, they're taking the tips and they're putting it towards a nonprofit, and that sounds just illegal as shit. And then there's also some that are just taking the tips outright and just keeping it. And then there's other of them that aren't reporting the tips as well to the IRS.
Correct.
And if you guys know, and we all know sitting in this room, that you do not want the tax man knocking on your door.
No, not for cannabis. No. Not for anything anyways, really.
Because usually who falls behind them? The rest of the alphabet boys.
Yep.
So that's what you don't want, everybody. And remember, this is a federally illegal substance still. Yes, towards the end of the year, we will get an answer if it's going to get rescheduled or descheduled. But right now, we are still shitting bricks. We are sitting in a gray area. At any moment, they could kick it down the door and come take this right here and, give me charges. Yeah. Everybody in the room. So, Gino will be fine. We'll let him run. You guys missed the hilarious thing you just did. Anyway, so this is kind of short because I kind of, kept you guys, on the date, up to date on it for the most part. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Being a business owner and reading that, it's disheartening. I can see, because the way our POS system works, like when someone pays by card, it sends it over to our POS. So it's my job as an owner to go and make sure that my employees get tipped out at the end of the day and run it on their POS system of what card machine they had attached to their terminal. I have to physically go in and check, or my manager, which he is delegated to do. And he goes in and he pulls it out of the register and tips out the crew, because that's the proper thing to do. I mean, and reading this, I just shook my head, because I was like, man, I can totally see how these employers are getting away with this, because they're just, if you're not honest, you can just obviously lie to your employees, and it's just not the right way to go about even treating anyone. Yeah. And so, reading that just made me sad that people would treat someone like that and use that and take advantage of them, because they're the people that are selling that weed are a lot of the face of that product. So, you have to respect that. They spend a lot of time representing your brand. And so you got to respect that for their time. And they should be paid for that.
Yeah, they should be compensated. Yeah, these guys have a lot of knowledge, some of these bud tenders.
100%.
I go in and I'm like just blown away. I'm like, every terpene there is, don't you? Keep talking.
Absolutely. Exactly. Like, I go in and I learn from bud tenders, dude. And I think that's neat. Because I've been growing weed for a long time, and I still don't know what some of these guys know, and I want to learn. I'm here to learn every day. So it's good to see. But like I said, these people need to be compensated. They need to make their tips. It's it's only fair.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that it goes back to that these employees aren't being paid properly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The managers, none of them, and so the managers feeling like I'm doing all this work, I deserve some of this.
Yeah.
And so they're taking from their team.
Yeah, and then there's been reports of people getting fired for taking their own tips that they earned to, at the end of the day or whatever, they're hungry or whatever, they needed it for whatever, and it was their tip, and they took it and they got fired for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not right.
That's not right.
Yeah, that's not cool at all. You're taking from the company, and no, it was my tip. And I've said this many times, and I've said this before. As a customer, if I'm giving a tip to an employee, it is my assumption that tip is going to that employee or employees who are tipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is my assumption. And when you do that, that makes it a little, like I can't trust you. You know what I mean? Like you're untrustworthy.
Yeah.
And it says a lot about people when you do that. So me as a customer, if I see that, I'm not going to want to shop there for the sole fact that I know you're stealing from your employees.
Exactly.
And what else are you doing? Are you giving me moldy weed?
Yeah.
Are you, cutting corners? Or is this Oklahoma weed? Or is this California weed?
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
So now,
where do you stop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to steal from your own employees, like where are you going to stop?
Yeah. Where does the ladder stop once you start going down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You start sliding down that ladder, it's hard to stop.
Yep.
And you probably hit your chin.
Exactly.
Yeah, a couple times, like a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much everything I have on that, guys. If you want the full document for yourself, I will try to get it in the description, and I also have it on. I have it actually on all my socials and everything, and I'll post it again. But yeah, I'll try to put it in the description so that way you guys have the link. You can read it for yourself and see what it says. Come up to your own conclusions. But this is pretty much our opinion of the matter and everything, and how you should go about a business. To just these people are really. They're putting their lives aside for you people. And I don't think some people understand that.
Yeah.
They have lives, they have school, they have family, they have love interests, they have their own life outside of this.
Absolutely.
And, it's your dream, but for them, it's just a paycheck most of the time.
Correct.
And they're helping you with your dreams. So, just think about that at the end of the day.
Be fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be fair.
Take care of your team.
Yeah.
Take care of them.
They'll take care of you.
Yeah, loyalty.
Oh my God. You'll have the ride or die.
Exactly. Like I said.
Yeah, exactly.
We have our ride or die.
Exactly. So, but anyway, we're going to move on to the next topic. I just wanted to update y'all on that, on the update on it, and that I do have the full document because the last time that I was on here, I didn't have it, and I was waiting on some other stuff. So now I have it, and if you guys want it, it's there. So anyway, we're going to go on. We're going to be talking about CCD a couple times on these last two topics, and I'll try to blaze past it because this first one is kind of short, but it's very important. CCD is starting to put people on blast, and they're also starting to crack down like crazy. And right here, we have the enforcement actions on the screen. If Gino could scroll down a little bit, all the way down, right there. We have a list right here of all the people that have they've taken actions against the CCD. These aren't just them, messing up. And actually, if you want, let's go to the Sawmill Sweetleaf one. Go ahead and scroll up a little bit. And then go ahead and go to open file on the Sawmill. Yep, open that one. Now, if you guys open this, if you check out this file, yep, there we go. Boop. This tells you actually everything that they did wrong. If you scroll down on the screen there, Gino, it tells you all the violations that happened. And some of these violations, I'm seeing a lot of the same ones of, and that's actually very startling for the fact that means that the people that are getting caught are doing this. How many people that haven't been caught? How many are doing this? You know what I mean?
Please.
And these people right here, they've actually been shut down. I believe the CCD is going to pull their license, but this is the reason why I pulled it. The rest of them kind of are pending or whatever, but this one I know for sure it's been in the news and everything. And, we've talked about this before. But This is what they're putting people on blast for, and I wanted to show you guys exactly what can happen if you don't follow the rules and the laws here in the state. They will put you on blast, and you will be on my podcast. You don't want that. I'm not going to put you on blast, but something like this to show an example, it could happen. Because this is serious. And these people could lose their license, they lose their livelihood, and they could catch charges, on top of it. And then maybe the federal government will come down on. I don't know, because we don't know what the federal government will want to do in the end of the day when it comes to this. So, how do you guys feel about, the CCD doing this? Like, kind of putting people on blast and kind of make an example in that sense.
Well, I know the CCD is there to, like, they're not there to shut people down. They're there to get people in compliance and do it right. But whether these people choose to ignore them and do it how they want to do it, that's up to them. But I think it's the proper thing to do. It's going to weed out all the illicit product that's coming in and hurting the people that are trying to grow it and do it right.
Yeah.
Not cutting corners and doing this right, guys, it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's a big cash grab, because it's not. It's really, this is hard work. We busted. It's not, what people think it is in the money end. It's just not.
Yeah.
And so I understand, I don't agree with it, but I understand why these companies do what they do. I can see why they do what they do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me as a business owner, because why would you jeopardize all that, your license, for, whatever they're making off that? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But, on another side note, I just don't think it's a very feasible thing for these people to be doing. But I think it's good for the CCD to finally go in and show people who aren't doing it right, because, the people that are, it's taking a lot of effort from us.
Yeah. And like you said, they're not trying to shut you down. If you're just ignorant to it and you're just messing up, and they probably know, like, hey, did you know this? Like, oh no, they're probably going to work with you, but if you're just blatantly breaking the law and not giving a shit about what they're telling you, and you're just like, oh, they can't tell me what to do. They kind of can, sorry, but then they'll shut you down.
Correct.
And then, well, they can't tell you what to do now because you're shut down.
Yeah, look, people are going to make mistakes. They're not going to hound you for making a simple mistake.
Yeah.
But just make sure you fix it, and you can show what they want done. SOPs, certain pieces of paper you need in your book, in your employee handbook. Just make sure you're up to date on your stuff.
Yeah. Training.
Training. Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure they
That'll
know.
be on the next topic too. Actually, we're getting close to that one. So and most of the violations, they add up to not having the proper manufacturing license, selling out of state cannabis. Now we're seeing more cannabis being sent out of state. We're also seeing them getting shut down for not reporting things correctly. They're not putting money in correctly. So there's a lot of stuff going on that just isn't right. And some of these places have like 12 violations. Like just stacked on it, boom, 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 boom. And they're not light stuff like you don't have an exit sign. It's like, hey, you were doing some illegal shit on the federal level.
Yeah, when they're bringing in illicit product, I mean, what more?
Yeah,
it can't get worse.
Yeah. It's like we our hands are off if you're doing some stuff like that and you get popped.
Yeah.
So we can't do anything for you. But yeah, I just wanted to update everybody on that. CCD is putting people on blast. There's quite a bit of businesses that have been going through that and have been, I guess, navigating the hard way through the industry. And if you're one of those businesses, I recommend you figure it out quick because they will shut you down. If they probably see you trying to do it right, they might leave you alone, or they might try to help you.
They'll help you.
Yeah.
Call and ask for help.
See?
I'm telling you guys.
You were telling me that they're glad you call when you
I call them and ask them, is this packaging compliant? Hey, how do we do this if it's an infused joint? How do I, and they make me go through proper protocol.
Yeah.
So I make sure that stuff's being applied correctly, because if I do not do that, I don't want to be flagged for something, and I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not saying I'm perfect at everything, but I definitely try to check all my boxes, cross my T's and dot my I's when it comes to that stuff. And so by making a simple phone call, 5 minutes, it really helps you guys in any form or facet in life. And, in compliance, it's even more.
Yeah.
And so, just don't be afraid. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, and they'll be there to help. I'm telling you, they're really helpful over there.
Yeah. They're not there to shut you down. They're just there to help. Nice. I've made several calls myself, and they just want to make sure that we're doing it right, and they love that we are calling to just make sure that we can do it properly, because in the system, BioTrack's really hard to navigate, and some people really are ignorant to it and just don't know how to do it because it's so
we didn't have proper training.
Yeah,
no one's ever been issued proper training for BioTrack. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's tutorials and stuff that you can follow and stuff, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be a pro at it right out the gates. No. So we get that there's going to be, mistakes made.
And I kind of feel in the future that there is going to be a need of a new tracking software system that is way more user friendly than this, because it is confusing. I've tried to mess with it a few times. I'm like, this sucks.
Oh, BioTrack has a paid option.
Yeah,
that's much easier.
Oh, of course it is.
So there's your answer. Yeah. Instead of like 50 clicks, it's like 2 clicks.
Oh my God! Oh, you got to be kidding me. All right, well, there's that. So before we moved on, I forgot to show off the cannabis that you guys brought today. How rude of me! And we're kind of the safety meeting. So you're the one who actually knows all the names of these.
Yeah. So that is the unicorn meat right there that you have in the jar.
And these smell amazing, everybody. If you could, I wish you could smell these.
That's Ecto cookies.
And then, Gino, if you could get them a little close up, just get the stem there. Yeah, the bottom. You have to grab it by the stem. Yeah, it's really good cannabis. Smells amazing. The bud structure is good. I know it's probably a little blurry on the screen, but it's really good cannabis. I like it. Try to put your hand behind it.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that little trick. Yeah, there you go. Try that. See if that works. No? Okay. Oh, we tried. Anyway, but yeah, that's this one. This one, what is this one again?
The unicorn meat.
Unicorn meat.
That is from Thug Pug Genetics. It was another freebie seed that we ran in one of our seed batches. This was our Ecto cookies. Another heavy hitter from the cookie lineup. Kind of has that marinara chirp to it. Kind of Italian. It smells like you're eating Italian.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the video right now isn't doing anything justice, y'all. It's it's focused on us. So we're just trying to get you the structure and everything of it. It's kind of hard to see.
And then that last is our big body gelati. It's a Cam D cross 3 ways with I forgot what the last cross is, but it's a really good strain. Super high testing and a lot of terps. 2.5% terps and 28.5% THC. So really good strain to be smoking on the daily.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me. And
absolutely.
I love this packaging. Check out that packaging. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. And that's one thing I preach all the time. Packaging, customer experience.
Exactly.
So long the days of getting it in a Ziploc bag, y'all. That's just not how it is anymore.
Nope.
Be a little creative with your packaging. I seen green chiles.
Yeah.
Like actual shape.
I saw those.
Dude,
dope,
right?
Those
are cool.
I think it's like CanCon when I saw that.
Yeah, High Lonesome has some.
Yeah.
I know he's doing it over there. Jeffrey over there. And so, yeah, I mean, just get creative. Figure something out. Think outside of the box. I don't know. I want to see a Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, give me a Roadrunner. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next topic. This last one, it's the CCD again. This one is going to be pertaining around the training, and that's what we were talking about earlier. And we have the article right here. So it says the CCDs are proposing some changes regarding the license to sell cannabis. And what that is, they're going to require some things before you open, and they require things after you open, and they're just going to be adding more loopholes to kind of jump through, because I guess they're seeing that there's less education going on, with employees and even the owners. So they're kind of wanting you to do like a course, and I'm not sure who's going to do it, or why this is being proposed, but no other state has really implemented this, from my understanding, on this level. They have implemented, education and having to get a certain license. Wherever I know in Colorado they call it the green card, I guess, or something like that, and you have to pay to get that. It's kind of like getting your service permit, which, I mean, I get it, but this right here kind of seems a little weird, because they're requiring the people that don't know much to go to these things that are being taught to them. We're not even sure if there's going to be correct information to start out with. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Can we trust the state to implement education in a way that it's going to be correct, and they're not going to be walking around saying trichromes?
Yeah.
Make
sure it's effective educated. I know.
Yeah.
What strands?
Yeah.
How many strands do you grow?
Yeah. Let's not make the problem worse, is I guess what I'm saying. And the stuff and I'll read them to you. A lot of these changes. This first one is inspection prior to licensure. Prior to issuance of a license under Cannabis Regulation Act, the division may conduct an on-site inspection of proposed premise. I believe this is one of the ones they're taking away, actually. So there's a bunch of them they striked out, and I have the documentation. If actually, you could pull the documentation up real quick, Gino. Yeah, this one right here. So this one right here is the documentation, but this is the notice, and it's pretty much telling you what's going on. And on the other one has all the strikeouts of what they want to take out, and pretty much, it's trying to close some loopholes, I guess, of not being prepared and ready. So that's one thing they're going to take out. Now, here's the things that they're going to add. Education programs prior to licensure. So before you get your license, they're going to say that you have to have this education. So the director of division may require applicants for any license type, meaning even if you're just testing facility, to complete a pre-licensure, pre-renewal education program that may cover the following topics: cannabis industry broadly, New Mexico laws and rules, hope that's right, related to the cannabis industry, financial preparedness for operating within the cannabis industry. That sounds like, just people are financially illiterate.
Yeah.
And such other topics and subject areas as determined by the director of the division. So that right there gives them way too much leeway in the end to kind of just add bullshit in there, as you need to go get educated on how to smoke a joint. Like you need to go get educated on how to use a lighter. It could be that broad. It could get that ridiculous really fast.
Yep.
And the shitty part is, I'm guessing the companies are going to have to pay for this education out of their pocket.
Someone will.
It's going to have to come from somewhere. It's not going to be free. So this is kind of worrisome the way that they have it set up. I kind of feel right now in the industry, this isn't a good time to do it. I kind of feel in a couple of years. I don't know. How do you guys feel about? I mean, this is just one of the ones that they're going to add.
I just don't know how that's feasible.
I don't either. Really,
it's just not. I think like what's happening, is these people need to educate themselves before they, come with the money that they think they need is necessary to run these operations. We've seen firsthand people run out of money, and it really affects how their business operates. And they just don't understand how the industry works and how much is into it. From packaging to testing to compliance to making sure your weed's safe to smoke and doesn't have pesticides on it. You guys,
mildew.
Yeah, mildew, like everything. We use water for our IPM, and it's just, you guys, you just can't stress it enough. Just find good quality medicine. It'll change how you guys view cannabis.
Good genetics.
And good genetics, yeah.
Helps too.
And so, but yeah, I think it's just not a very feasible option for the CCD. I get changing some rules, but educating people, I think that should be something that they do.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and
because
that should be something that they do for free.
Correct. It's their job.
If you want us to know this information, give us this information.
If you want us to operate at a high level, you guys have to give us access to that information.
Yeah.
And I can't just automatically, use my brain powers to read what you want me to do. Tell me, show me, and I'll get it done.
Yeah, and like the educational programs are, I guess, subject to evaluation.
Correct.
And any necessary amendments, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be every 3 years, I guess. No less than every 3 years following the adoption of the rules. So I guess you have to do it every 3 years.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just, cannabis is forever changing, and we're finding out new things all the time. It's like technology, like tech. I have my degree in IT. By the time you buy your computer, it's already obsolete. There's already something else coming out. There's already something else out, and there's already something else that's almost ready to be out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get a cheap computer, there's a reason why it's cheap. It's because that technology is old. And you have to keep that in mind. Cannabis is no different. The trends in cannabis these days are fast. And the trends, I guess, all over are fast. And it's mostly due to the social media, internet, craze and how much more available it is. And that is creating things to go a lot quicker. So now you're going to have to kind of figure that out with this in the education program. So 3 years from now, we're going to find out something else about cannabis that we didn't know last year.
Yeah.
3 years is a long time. So you're telling me that every 3 years I got to take this educational stuff, and then some of it could be out of date. I'm sitting here touting this shit to customers, giving them the wrong information for 3 fucking years.
Because it's changed.
Because it's changed. Or are you going to make us go take a new one when something new comes out? Like, this is, to me, this change here in particular would need to be revised, and I kind of feel now isn't the time to do it. And the way that you can voice your opinion on that is August 31st. They're going to have a hearing in Santa Fe, and I really hope that a lot of the industry shows up. South, north, east, west, I don't care. This has to pertain to the whole state. And if you want this rule here to go away and to not be implemented, you need to go over there and tell them why. Because the reason why we get bad rules is because we don't give them direction.
And they don't know. A lot of these people don't smoke, or they're not in the industry, and they're making the rules.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. If you're making those rules based on a decision or an experience you previously had in another industry, and a lot of the times it does not apply to our cannabis industry. So that's why we have to give them, direction and show our support and kind of, show them what we need out of us. So, so it makes our lives easier.
100%. And I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, the same. Just I don't know, dude. That safety meeting still got me kind of messed up. Most of this stuff on that, I mean, you should already have been prepared yourself, and had the knowledge prior to just like, I'm gonna hop in and
Yeah.
take
Well, if
over
you're
this
spending
thing.
this much
Yeah.
money to
Yeah,
get this thing,
exactly.
you should know something.
You should
Yeah,
know
and
something.
that is on you. You know, in the
Mhm.
end, it shouldn't be this a requirement like this. Like if you're coming into an industry and you don't know what you're going to do, well, I'm sorry, you kind of deserve to fail.
Correct.
You know, like if you're trying and you finally succeed, cool. But if you're coming in this ignorant,
And that blind, you're gonna have a
blind,
rough time.
it's just bad. You know, like you may want to just let people that know what they're doing do it and learn from them. You know,
Correct.
like, that's the best way to do it. Hire somebody that knows what they're doing. You know,
Yeah.
hire a good grower, hire a consultant. You know, like something.
Yeah.
If you have the funds and the means, do it the right way.
Make sure you get a good grower.
Yeah.
That's the most
That's-
important thing. I mean, you grow the good weed, they'll come.
Yeah, 100%.
It's you guys know. Everyone loves the fire.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
fire, and if we get the good weed, everyone loves a good price point too. don't get me
They
wrong.
do.
But
They do.
you know, we love
Absolutely.
fire.
Be fair with your prices too.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, guys.
$20 grams, $15 grams.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
$10 at our store.
Hell, see that?
Fire, dog.
$10.
Fire.
What?
Fire, dog.
See, and that helps with the market too. You guys are kind of gonna help bring the price point down for that, because I mean $10 a gram, yeah, you're still making your money back too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Well,
still
I
making
mean,
your
you
money.
guys get a good value and a
Yeah.
good product, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
it lasts a long time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So this next one I want to go through, and we'll end the show here in a minute. So this last change that they're going to add is proof of business license prior to renewal. So this one right here doesn't seem like it's too crazy at the moment. It says prior to division issuing a renewal license under the Cannabis Regulation Act, I always have to put that. All licenses applying for renewal must provide the division with a copy of a valid business license for all premises, is one or the other. If you have both, whatever premises is, to be renewed under the license for which they are renewing. Failure to provide a valid business license on any premise will result in the division inability to process the renewal application and result in you getting a revoked license. So that right there doesn't seem too bad. That's fair. You should have your license at all times displayed. This is from my understanding
Absolutely.
as well. So this shouldn't be hard for you to provide.
Yes.
And this is just proving the fact that you've had a license prior because you're doing a renewal. This is just redundancy on the bureaucratic level. To me, this is not too much of a bad thing. It's literally, you can scan your license when you get it, put it into a drive or something, and have it on hand, so that when the time comes or any time, you can just send it. And you should do that.
Yeah.
I scan all of my documents and put them in a very safe place. And so these right here is no different. And I kind of feel that, this isn't really that much of a change, but I wanted to mention it because it is a change and a rule change. Now, if this is something that you disagree or you agree with, you should go to Santa Fe and voice your opinion.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Come see us.
Yeah, I'll try to be there too. Yeah. This is kind of important, because this one right here, and you guys are in town, so that helps you.
We'll definitely, yeah. We show up to all this stuff. We
Heck yeah,
like to
appreciate
be
it.
representative in the community, So if
Yeah.
there's anything you guys want us to make a point on, just let us know.
Hell yeah. Appreciate
So-
that. Yeah, and I already talked about Hawaii and everything, guys. Again, I just want to touch again. Shout out to all the people in Maui over in Hawaii, and I can't express my gratitude enough for the people of Hawaii who showed me the love when I moved there, and now we're trying to show it back to you guys with trying to help out. And I see a bunch of people here in New Mexico and other places around the nation, trying to gather donations and get it over to Maui, because it's going to be a long time before Maui's okay again.
Yeah.
It looks like a war zone. Like just bombs got dropped repeatedly on it, and it's going to take a long time. So if you guys have any means or way to donate, or you want to donate to somewhere, please be careful on where you donate. Some places, some federal agencies like FEMA, they're holding up some donations and stuff like that over there, and I'm not sure why. I don't know the details, but I know it's happening. So just be careful. And yeah, I'll keep everybody updated on what I'm doing with the donations. I'll be back again next week with another episode. Thank you, gentlemen, again for this great
You
episode.
got it, man.
This great
Thank
fire,
you.
and keep it coming.
You got it, man. We appreciate you having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You guys are coming in hot, so let's get out of here.
All right.
All right.